Cigars in hand, never playing tame. Pour the whiskey, let it burn real slow. On the Real Smoke Podcast, the stories flow. Guests are rolling with a spark in their eyes, talking life's truths and throwing lies. Laughter crackles like a fire alive. Cuba to Kentucky, they always thrive. Real smoke rises in the air tonight. Whiskey's bold, they keep it tight. Stories spark like a flaming glow. Mich and Charles stealing the show.
Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your host, Mich and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and all the good times in between. This is more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 27. Oh my gosh, episode 27. Welcome to episode 27. We are your host. That guy is Mick. I can never get the direction right. That guy's Mick. I'm Charles, and we are going to be your host tonight. So welcome, everybody. We hopefully have a fantastic episode for you.
Heck yeah.
But
we're excited, man.
How are you doing today?
Man, I'm good. It's been another long, crazy week at work. I know you know that feeling. We usually chat at like 9 o'clock at night when we're finally settled down a little bit.
No joke.
Yeah, man. It has been a crazy week, but I will say, I know we already talked about this, but one of the highlights of my week, got a little bit of a signed poster in the mail from my brother over there. Yeah.
Before we
awesome,
get into
man.
the week, let's say thank you to somebody. You ready to say thank you?
Right. Sure.
The Real Smoke Podcast is brought to you by the Cigar Vault Oakdale, your ultimate destination for premium cigars and unforgettable experiences. Whether you're a seasoned aficionado or just starting your cigar journey, they've got you covered. Find them on Instagram at Cigar Vault Oakdale or online at thecigarvault.com. Here's a treat for our listeners. Use promo code RealSmoke to save 10% on your next order. Let the Cigar Vault Oakdale unlock your next great cigar.
And thank you very much to the Cigar Vault in Oakdale. And definitely let them unlock your next great cigar.
Great tagline. Yeah, Norm and the boys, man, they'll take care of you. They have everything you could possibly want, man. They're good guys.
100%. If you are a boutique lover of the leaf, oh my God, their selection is phenomenal. And coming back from PCA, I have a feeling it's about to get more exciting.
Yeah, we may know a little bit about that, but we're not going to talk for Norm. But we're excited to see what they're getting.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So really quickly, before we jump into the week, let's say hello to a bunch of people. We have the Loganator 1. Hello, gentlemen. What's up, Logan?
Loganator.
Maddie's on here. I think we know who Maddie is. What's up, Maddie?
Maddie.
Tiffany jumped on here. Tiffany says, howdy, guys. Happy Thursday. Howdy, Tiffany. Hopefully you're enjoying your book. She actually bought one of our books. So hopefully she's enjoying that one. And I can't wait to see the first review that she does with it and what she thinks about it.
Heck yeah.
Howlin' with Big Al says, what's up, fellas?
Big Al.
Mitch says, good evening, you awesome people. Nah, we're not the awesome ones. You're watching us. You're the awesome one.
Uncle Mitch.
Get your ends up says, hello, fellas. What's up?
We know who's winning their first gift card tonight. Get your ends up on there.
No joke. Yeah. It's either going to be him or Mitch.
Yeah, true story.
So, guys, if you want to help us out, make sure that if you've got questions, put them in the comments. Please hit the like button on here. We need y'all to do that one. We definitely need you guys to go to our Facebook page. We want to stream this on Facebook, but we can't. We have to get to 100 followers on Facebook. So go check it out and, go follow us on Facebook. If you're not subscribed to us on Instagram, if you're not following us on Instagram, what the hell are you waiting on?
You're missing out.
Get over there and do that. If you're not subscribed to us on YouTube or Rumble, go do both. One's not enough. You're an
Heck yeah.
underachiever. Be an overachiever. Go do both.
Heck yeah.
So
while we're saying hi
anyways.
to people, while we're saying hi
Yeah,
to
say
people,
hi.
I got to say hi. So supposedly, my buddy Dave from back in Pennsylvania, you've talked to Dave quite a few times, Charles, on our lives on Saturday nights and stuff. But Dave, I picked
What's
up
up, Dave?
Land Shark. I picked up Land Shark tonight just because I knew, or I thought at least you'd be watching. Love you, buddy. Hopefully be seeing you in Aruba really soon here. Like, what, 31 days, I think? Anyway, cheers.
Liquid Death for me, not a sponsor of the episode. Would love for them to be. So if anybody's got any connections with Liquid Death, let them know that every week I'm constantly drinking this stuff. We need a sponsorship. Even if you just send me Liquid Death, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Get your ends up says LOL. In other words, that means I know I'm winning. Cigars with Angels is on here. He says, "What's up, fellas?"
What's up, brother?
And Pedro Ramos, new name. We haven't seen you on here before. What's up, fellas? I love new names. Once again, make sure you guys are subscribing. Make sure you hit the like button. And if you guys are involved in any cigar clubs or any whiskey clubs or anything like that, if you're a part of them on your own Instagram pages or your Facebook pages, go ahead and send the link to them. Let's see if we can get a lot of people on here tonight. We are giving away a 3-pack sampler from Katie Cigars, as well as we're doing a $25 gift card from the Cigar Vault in Oakdale. So we would love to give away some prizes. So make sure that you guys are jumping on there and make sure you guys are sharing this out. Pedro Ramos says, Hayes Gray Cigars. Dude, I've been following your stuff over the last little bit after watching you guys do a podcast itself. Definitely interested in trying your guys' stuff because It looks freaking fantastic. And we're booked all the way out through the summer, but we do want to get you guys on here because we've already talked about that one. So
absolutely.
Anyways, how was your week? You said you got something in the mail. What'd you get in the mail?
So you got me I don't know how you still know how exactly you pulled it off. You sent me a signed Matt Booth poster from commemorating our infamous episode where we got shut down and kicked off Instagram. It's an amazing poster that I already framed. I sent you a picture tonight, framed it, gonna have it forever. And it's freaking outstanding, man. I was very surprised by that, and I greatly appreciate it.
Well, I will say that Matt sent us a image to use for that night, and I sent him a message as soon as I got it. And I said, "Hey, you're the first. Usually, I'm the one having to do all the the artwork, so I appreciate you sending me some. But I got another question. If I get some copies made, and send them to you, will you sign it so I can send one to Mick?" He was in Matt Booth style. He said, "Sure. Yes, sir. I would most definitely love to do that," with a lot of 4-letter words and innuendos. But so it took a little bit of time, and with all the stuff that he was doing and all the traveling, but finally got it in and was excited to get it to you. So glad you liked it.
Yeah, loved it, man. Definitely one of the highlights of my week for sure. I appreciate it.
We're going to call that the canceled poster because it's the first time on the internet that I have been physically canceled to the point that I got banned.
Starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
we are back up to like 2,700 though, man. So we're almost there. We're over halfway back to where we were before we got canceled. So we're slowly getting there.
I'm going to keep it positive and say right now we're about 7,000 followers, 5 from before and 2 from now. So I'm doing podcast math.
Well, I'll take it. That's pretty awesome. We'll soon hit 10K in that respect.
Yeah, we've got no proof that we're at 7, but we can say it.
Absolutely. So the other thing I wanted to touch on. So I know we talked about this off air a few times. I've never been an NBA guy. I like college basketball. I'm more of a hockey, football, baseball guy. But Devin, who I'm sitting beside right now, took me to my first Grizzlies game this year, and I know it's a huge thing in Memphis. So I kind of got into following them a little bit, see if they're going to make the playoffs or whatever. So the other night I stayed up till midnight watching them play the Golden State Warriors, and I gotta say, this is my only comment from the game. Steph Curry is like the Patrick Mahomes of the NBA. That dude flops when people get within 5 feet of him, and it gets called every single time. He's probably the best shooter of all time. I mean, honestly, he's amazing, but that dude flopped 30 times in the last 10 minutes of that game, and they called it every single time, and it was so frustrating to watch.
See, he's got a force field around him, but instead of that force field rejecting people that touch it, when you touch his force field, he falls down.
It has to be. Yeah, it has to be. It's some crazy intergalactic stuff or something. I don't know, but
either that or he's just a big capital P.
Yeah. I had a really hard time watching that game. I'm like, this dude just falls. It was crazy. But Memphis still has a shot. Grizzlies can still win Friday and get in the playoffs. But it was one of the most frustrating sporting events I have ever watched in my entire life. So,
see, to me, that's like watching soccer, professional soccer. They run up to somebody and they kick towards somebody, and the guy flies backwards and lands, and he's screaming. And the ref looks at him and goes, "Shut up!" And he stands up and goes, "Okay," and he runs off. It's like, really?
Yeah, men's soccer is tough. I love soccer with all my heart, but men's soccer is tough to watch because they all flop like that. It's definitely painful. But yeah, man, that's about it. How about for you, man? What else happened this week? Anything good?
Let's talk about our trip to the PCA. Wait, we didn't go, so we're not going to cover that. Now, there's a lot of stuff going that's, that we'll probably, be hearing a lot from the PCA over the next few weeks. There's a crap ton of stuff. I can't wait. John Huber is teasing all kinds of stuff left and right. Sebastian and Brian Cavalier are teasing so many things left and right. Lou is teasing so many things. I mean, I can't wait for the stuff that's debuted at PCA to start hitting shelves. Rojas has got the new Cinco de Mayo coming out and a new cigar coming out that I'm drooling over. So I can't wait to try those. So we finally posted the final Hatpalooza for round 1 yesterday. So that is up there. We'll let it run to the end of the week and we'll go ahead and give that one out. But I will say that starting next week sometime, I will start posting about starting Hatpalooza round 2 and try to get about 20 hats in for that one as well. So if you are a brand owner that has a hat game, if you are a whiskey owner that has a hat game, you're a podcast channel that has a hat game. What we do is you send us 2 hats. I wear one for the show. I promote it, and we give it out to a fan. So we do a drawing with it, and we ended up with 13 hats on our first round that we gave away from whiskey brands, cigar brands, and accessory brands. So if you are listening and you are one of those, I don't care if you sell vacuum cleaners and it says Hoover on it. Hell, we'll give it out to somebody. Somebody would like to wear a Hoover hat. So, but yeah, send us 2 hats and we'll take care of it. And the last thing I got on there is, make sure that you're hitting the like button, the comment button, put comments in there as we go tonight. And we talk to our guest, which we need to get on here in just a second. As we talk to our guest, we need to make sure that if you got questions, make sure you put them in there. We would love to get to your questions as well. Speaking of comments in there, we do have Cigars with Angel says, "What's up, Big Al?" Howling with Big Al, what says, "Hayes Gray War Dogs." Yes. Thanks, fellas. Definitely. I hope he's talking to us because we would love to have you on. Dave Barrett.
There he is.
Hey, guys. Glad to be there. He is here. George says, "What's up, brothers?" And then the last one, I'm sure he rubbed his thanks. We love you.
That's why it's in a frame now. It's behind glass.
Are we using... No, we'll continue using what we got tonight.
Yeah, hashtag Real Smoke sounds good.
Yeah, we'll do that one. And then Mitch says that one. So, yes, if you are in the comments tonight, make sure you type in hashtag Real Smoke to be entered in to win either a 3-pack from Katie Cigars, which is going to be our Meanwhile in Memphis sponsor tonight, as well as a $25 gift card for Cigar Vault in Oakdale. So yes, put in those Real Smoke hashtags. So
Yeah.
before we get things started, let's talk about the cigar that we are smoking. You want to do that one?
Sure. I'd love to
Do we have a
mispronounce some
cigar that we're
words.
smoking? All right, so this is the cigar that we're smoking tonight.
Tonight we are smoking the C.H. Spurgeon Maduro. The wrapper is Mexican San Andreas. The binder is Indonesian. The filler is Nicaraguan. Price is around $10. And that is brought to you by Beard Apothecary.
Look
Nothing
at
too
that.
crazy.
He
Man.
spoke so clearly
Oh,
tonight. It's like
before
he is a linguist.
I'm getting there. I'm taking lessons. Hey, before we bring our guest on, do you want my joke for the night? I'm gonna start doing one joke of the night before we roll into our guest. One joke of the night.
Yes. What is your joke?
How do you know Mike Tyson is anti-religion? He always punches people in the face. All right, moving on to our guest.
Wow. All righty. So let's bring on our guest. Our guest tonight is Al Gomez of Reformed Cigars. Let's bring him to the stage. What's up, Al?
What's up, guys? Hey, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Sorry we bored you with my terrible joker to bring you on. I had to do it.
That was a good one. I laughed.
Thank you. I love this guy already.
I giggled. It was good. I mean, hey, to me, some of the best things that are done are good dad jokes, and I love them. And my kids hate me for telling them constantly. So,
absolutely, same here.
That's awesome.
So, what's going on tonight with you, sir? How are you?
Man, we're doing good. Busy, always trying to keep up with what we do. Working a lot with new line, new things, collaborating with other guys. So we're doing really good. Anytime you're busy and you got something going on, something to do, your mind is always working. So we're super grateful, and also trying to keep up with our audience, our people, all the supporters. Man, we're good, brother.
Man, if being good means being busy, I'm the greatest person in the world. So we want to thank you for jumping on here with us tonight. Like I told you in the green room, I don't know much about your brand, and it's one of the things that I don't do is really do a lot of research into it, because I think it guides me into already more scripted kind of ideas, and I kind of want to see where the conversation goes. So one of the things that we always like to do is we like to get to know you from growing up all the way into where we are today. So let's talk about that. Where did you grow up? What kind of kid was you? Tell us about you as a youngster.
Yeah, man. I'm from Nicaragua, from Jalapa, where, just to give an idea, Jalapa is kind of one of the pillar places on the cigar world. Like most of the cigar brand use fillers, binder, whatever you can imagine from that time. So grow up there, doing. Nicaragua is always wrestle with political issues and things like that, war. And so I grew up with that type of environment, but also like in this community, it's all about a culture, primarily tobacco, coffee. Those are the main things that we produce in that area. And so I grew up with agriculture people and working into that industry. So that's how we got into also tobacco later on. So that's kind of my little thing as a child. Grew up obviously with 7 siblings. 2 of them went for agriculture. Same myself. I went to school to learn more about agriculture. That's kind of my background into this. And so now everything that we do is cigars and coffee.
Awesome. Well, I will say that you saying that you grew up in the Jalapa area, that is where some of my favorite tobacco comes from. I enjoy jalapa tobacco. I like the minerally, I like the earthy minerally notes that it brings to a cigar. So
Yeah. Yeah. You will have Padron, been there forever, since I know an old guy who's been in the industry. Plasencia is another dude that had been in Jalapa for a very long time, very long time. Great people though. So because of that, also, we have our little towns up there in the world that most people know about Jalapa because of those two main guys, I would say.
Yeah. So I know you said about your family and having a big family growing up and what have you. So did you guys grow up did your family grow up working in tobacco fields or working in the industry at all, like from where you grew up, or was that just something that you guys came across?
So what we do primarily in that town is just leaf, the raw material, everything. If now we have some factories working on in Jalapa, and a few that I know they've been there for a long time. But most of the cigars are raw in Esteli by the largest factory. So Jalapa will say what they do the most is to produce leaf. So all the leaf go to Esteli. So my other brothers, yeah, definitely they went to school for agriculture and they did work in the tobacco industry as well too.
Okay, so when you say go to school,
That,
so they went to college for studying agriculture, or was that something at a younger age it was kind of brought in?
both. Yeah, they did work on that, and also they went to college to learn more about agriculture and stuff like that. Because that's kind of what we do in town. So a lot of people choose that kind of degree to stay in home, stay in the area and things like that. So that's kind of like the opportunities that the three of us went through.
So what kind of things did you enjoy as a kid? What kind of things were you into?
You guys were talking about soccer. Soccer is one of them, and baseball. So Nicaragua we're not huge like Venezuela or some others like DR, or Puerto Rico, but we have some great people out there as a baseball player. Yeah, baseball and soccer. Those were my main things. I was not a pro, let me tell you that, but definitely I enjoy it playing in college. I enjoy playing in high school as well too. So between those two sports, that was my main thing for sure. As a kid, that I enjoy the most in that area. Plus, it's close to Honduras, so we are literally about like 25 minutes away in bicycle from Honduras, depending on what part of the border you are in. But yeah, Honduras, huge country as well in soccer, so we got a lot of influence by them as well too.
So Mick and I both are huge baseball fans. Mick is a soccer fan. I'm not a soccer fan. Never really got into it, but we're both baseball fans. Do you have a baseball team that you follow now? I know you're in Atlanta, right? Come on, please say you're a Braves fan.
Yeah, once in a while I'll go and see those guys sometime. But I don't think I have a specific. I love the Yankees, I would say, just because we have Loaiziga playing in there, and he's from Nicaragua, and so you gotta follow kind of your people where they're playing, that kind of thing. Just because we're not huge, so anytime you got a guy from a country that represent a land, so you kind of want to follow them and see what they're doing, things like that. I kind of feel like a little proud of every player that we can produce and go to the big league. I would say that would be the situation.
Yankees, yep. You've been a great guest. Have a good night. No, I'm just I'm just messing.
I know. No, man, they used to be really good. They used to be really good, but now they're not.
Yeah, it's I also, like Charles said, I do love soccer. I played for 20 some years myself, and I coached for another 20 some years, and nice. It's a big part of my life. And I now that I moved to Tennessee, I haven't been coaching. I've been doing a couple clinics and some stuff, but I haven't got back into coaching yet. But I do enjoy it, man. It's a beautiful game when played correctly. So
yeah. Do you enjoy watching other leagues besides just the U.S., or do you follow any other
I do. I follow Premier League, Champion League. I do a little bit, and this is terrible to say, but I started following Wrexham because of the TV show. I actually really love the story of that. I mean, it was cool. And I started following them a little bit too, but it's it's a beautiful sport, man. I do enjoy it, but it is hard at times, like Charles said earlier, watching the guys flop all the time. That does get on my nerves at times, but it is a beautiful game.
Absolutely, man.
Well, doing a quick Google search, there are currently 15 players in Major League Baseball from Nicaragua. So,
Nicaragua?
Yep.
Yeah, we got a few
Not bad.
people there.
Got a few.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do. Yeah, that's kind of what we do. Pitchers, we do a lot. We have a lot of history in boxing as well too. Great guys. Went to the big stuff from Nicaragua.
So let's move on a little bit forward from when you were a kid. What brought you into the States? So how did you get here?
Oh man, I would say same like any other people who wanna have some progress. Most of us come with the mentality to work hard and eventually return back home. That's kind of like the heart of like what we come here. So I graduated from college, did work as a businessman in a bank, again, providing loan for farmers and things like that, tobacco, coffee and things. But at some point you're like, man, I would love to do my own thing. And so one time I came to the US and ended up helping my brother who still live in Miami. And he paid me decently well, and I'm like, hey, if I can do this much, and this time I can go back home, get a farm, get my house and a white fan and my rocking chair with the hot and my golden retriever chasing the cows. So that was kind of the idea, but it didn't.
That's like the perfect dream right there.
They didn't work out, so I ended up liking the country, ended up doing life in here. Love the culture, learning a lot. And I will say this: I've been in Europe and other places, but honestly, man, if you do it well, this is the land of opportunity. This is a really great nation. Politically, it's hard sometimes to jump in those conversations, but honestly, I feel grateful with this beautiful country and. It gave me the chance to stay here legally. I'm a U.S. citizen, and I enjoy everything that we do around here. So I will say that progress was my big thing, and we continue to dream, and we love being here.
Awesome. So, what got you into cigars? Is it something that you started when you were younger, or is this something that you picked up, later on in life?
To be honest, part of our culture, I know, and I know some people say Cuban here, but we got some of the best rollers in the world in our country. And some of the things, like, it's crazy. Like, you go there, but you will not see a culture of smoking cigar in the street or anything like that. It's not part of our culture. What we do really well is just do the job, and then everything is just exporting to the other countries and things like that. But it's not part of our culture. So I didn't grow up smoking cigar. I grew up with the leaf and working, and that's all we know, the raw material. But as far as like smoking, I would say, man, the last 6 years I got into it more and more and more, because it was not part of what we do in Atlanta as a Nicaraguan. And so I grew up in Christianity, grew up in legalistic churches and things like that. And one time I saw a few pastors smoking and drinking, and I'm like, what in the world are they doing? And what in the world am I doing with them as well too, So it's like, and then I begin to learn more about honestly, the culture of cigar in the United States. I began to learn more about what cigar does. It's a similar concept of cigarette. It's a people need. Is the habit. And so I began to discover a lot of things that I was understood really wrong. And people will judge you in my country. If you're Christian, if you smoke or drink, definitely they will judge you. They will not take it well. And so I began to explore more of those ideas. And then looking back at the history, there are not many Nicaraguans doing well on cigar. Most people are Cubans or some other foreign people from our countries. And so I began to explore that idea. Say, hey, what does it look like if we become self-sustained? We do some work in Nicaragua. We help some kids that live in poverty community and things like that. We always fundraise money. I'm horrible doing that. So I began to explore that idea. Hey, we got the product, we got everything, we got the best rollers in the world. Those people go to church. I know them, have a relationship with them. What does it look like if we roll our own thing and we bring and test it in the United States? So the people that I know work in the church work for top brands. You know what I mean, like Padrones. And so I asked them, hey, do you feel comfortable if we roll a few and I will bring it to my Baptist guys and Presbyterian, see if they like it and see what happens. So I did a few tests and they love it. And then we came up with that idea to do our own thing and be able to do what we do in the mission field with the cigar.
All right. So I will say this. Just in what you just said, I have so many different side paths and rabbit holes I would like to go down. I know Mick turned his mic on. He's probably thinking the same thing. There's like so many different areas. So the first one I have to ask, and I'll let Mick go after that. But you said cigar smoking is not part of the culture in Nicaragua, but it's part of the rolling is. So
Exactly.
The average person in Nicaragua, what is their thoughts about smoking cigars?
I would say if I can be honest, they will associate cigar with cigarette as the same thing. But probably I never smoke. It's not my thing. Smoke cigarette. You know what I mean?
Right.
I done it like a few times, long time ago when I was a kid, just to see the curiosity. But I would say our people will associate they are in the same category. Where I understood the same thing, you know what I mean? Like you needed to live. Like some people smoke as a habit. That's the things that they do, and being controlled by that. And I thought cigar was the same way. I would say my people would say the same thing. The cigar is exactly the thing that had the same even nicotine the cigarette had. There will be people who smoke cigars the same they view the people that smoke cigarettes. And so because of that, I would say, especially Christians, that will put you in that category that you will not be welcome into their group because of that. They will not call you Christian if you smoke, I would say. And as a culture, you will not see it outside or anything like that, people smoking at all.
Wow. Yeah, I did not expect that. I don't think anybody's ever said that when they were on the show, where people in Nicaragua really aren't cigar smokers. It never even crossed my mind to ask that question. My question, I'm kind of backing up a little bit too. So you said about 6 years ago you really got into cigars and whatever. Kind of a two-part question. What really brought you into the cigars? Like who was that person? I know you kind of touched on some other people smoking around you, but kind of break that down for us. And also, what was that cigar where you're like, man, there's so much of a bigger world out here than just what I knew? You know what I mean? Because everybody has that one or two cigars that they remember that they're like, holy cow, this is amazing. Like this, why didn't I smoke these years ago? Like I just kind of want to hear your experience of coming into that as being a cigar smoker.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all tied with history and church and religion and, what I used to be, what I'm at right now, as far as knowing what Christianity is all about. Grew up, in a legalistic church where everything was wrong. Whatever you were doing, you know what I mean. Imagine if you were wearing short, or that was a sin. It was really the formality of the church, and so that keep you away from not even to think what does it look like to touch a cigar or alcohol, because imagine that would be the stream of the stream, right? So. Even playing a sport in that church when I was growing up, I mean, it was wrong as well too. You know what I mean? I was sinful. And so very, very different. So when I came to the state, I knew that Nicaragua is very well known because the cigars, you know what I mean, in the world. But as far as me, or as a culture, understanding the dynamic of cigars outside our country, it was totally different. Like everybody was talking about Padron and Plasencia and all those guys. And so every time I was hearing all those big names, I was not even putting attention how big they are until I came to the United States. And so I began to explore more about our history. I began to explore more about the industry as a whole in the United States, and how powerful is the industry, primarily here in the United States. You know what I mean? And so I began to explore more of those ideas. But one time I was in a group setting, in a conference in Dallas, and with some incredible pastors and leaders that I know of. And we were just sitting around, and they were just having such a great time, drinking a rum and smoking a cigar. So in the beginning, I felt like really uncomfortable because it's not my culture to do that. But I was exploring and watching everybody how they were having such a great time. You know what I mean? And then just enjoying the cigar. And so I'm like, I would say we got like 20 guys in one group. Obviously, there were about 5,000 leaders from, all over the United States, from the UK, from all over the place. But so a bunch of guys smoking, and a lot of them that were smoking cigars from Nicaragua. And I began to ask the question, say, wait, which one you have? Oh, Nicaragua, Padron, Plasencia, Perdomo. And then they were just mentioning all the brands that I know, And so I was like, well, like almost like, you know what I mean? Most people are smoking Nicaraguan cigars. So I began to explore, and that put me into a place where I think I got to study more about these things, you know what I mean? And to be honest, I tried the first one that day with a different mindset. I smoked it before and stuff like that, but that was kind of like you have done things before. But is that thing that hit you in a whole different level where you can say, hey, I think there's something in here. You know what I mean? There is something that is from my land. And I began to associate a lot of different feelings. And that was it, man. That changed everything for me. I began to explore more, smoke, get together with other guys, doing Bible study, more things that it was really, really bad. Like if I would have done it back home, people would look at me really horrible. You know what I mean? So I began to feel more familiar with other group of men, enjoying, having great conversation, talking about life and real thing, and about, those are the moments where people open it up. You know what I mean? Dudes get around with that stick right there. And some people just throw up their life, and you know what I mean? Just take it or live it. And it's just incredible just to see what the cigar does in a group of men.
Yeah, I'll let Charles get back into his rabbit hole of questions here, but I just, man, I love hearing you say that. I know everybody that's listening has listened to the show for a while. That's one of my favorite things, is hearing somebody say that, because it's literally the reason we started doing this, is to grow our cigar family and get to know people like yourself. And literally that's what cigars do. They bring people together. It's a great equalizer. And it's something that we just love, because it brings people together that you never would have thought you had something in common with before. And you can have that open conversation, that real conversation with them. And that's, like I said, that's why we do this. And I love hearing you say that, man. That's incredible.
So I will say that one of the things that I keep hearing back and forth that you keep mentioning is, your church. So what was church something that was a big part of you growing up, or was that something that you got into, as you got older? Was that something that you and your family were involved in a lot? If so, what denomination, what kind of church was you or your family involved in?
Man, I would say, maybe looking back a little bit of, when I was growing up, mom left home when I was 10, and she came here to work, and I pretty much grew up alone in the house, you know what I mean, and bouncing from neighbors to neighbors and things like that. So it was not an easy life that I had. Not because I was poor like other friends and other people. As Nicaragua is the second poor country after Haiti. But it was not my story. If I can be honest, mom came here in the United States when I was 10 to provide school for us, to provide home and like any other people that come here. And because of the stage of what I was living, so I got to know Jesus because my neighbors, and it was a place for me. Religion is a big deal for Latinos, and so because my neighbor, share Christianity with me, and ended up like finding that community because I was in a place of isolation, a place of loneliness, a place of desperation, things like that. So I found a community, even though it was super highly legalistic. I found it through friendship in there that really take care of me, loved me really well, embraced me really well, felt really welcome into it. But then, learning so much about it, it was I began to understand the thing that they were saying when I came to the United States was a whole different reality. What's Christianity here is more open. There's more freedom. And you can take freedom in so many levels. You know what I mean? Freedom and the things that the scripture say that you can do and you're allowed, and freedom to do whatever you feel like you want to, depending on what background people will have. But when I came here, I began to join the Baptists and understanding more about theology, understanding more about different things, and that changed my perspective of our country and Christianity back home and Christianity here. So a lot of different things that I was learning. And so it changed everything. And just to move a little bit quicker to the story of cigars and the brand and that kind of different thing, began to study more about Reformed theology, which, that would be the
where I was going
group.
to next is I know that, your cigar brand is based around that theology. So let's talk about the name Reformed Cigars, where it came from, and then let's kind of talk into the different names that are associated with the cigars. So if you don't care, let's jump into that.
Yeah, man. So when I came to the United States, obviously I didn't know much. I just know that we know about Jesus and that's it, but we don't know the history of the church, reformers, or anything like that, or the greatest movement of Christianity. And so I began to study more, and I began to introduce to Reformed theology, which is what I can summarize that. It's just look at the scripture, right? It's just going back to the scripture. It's just pointing the scripture on every level. I began to understand a lot of different theme into that. I began to understand more a little bit about Calvin and the term of Calvinism. And I understood all that umbrella. And then when I was putting two different stories side by side, like the story that I grew up in, the story that I'm learning a lot more in the Western, and putting together a lot of things that I say, hey, don't do this, do this, do this. It was a task list that we have to accomplish in order for us to be filled by God. Where versus over here on the other side, it's like, hey, you're here because God love you. And begin to explain about grace and service, and then begin to understand more on a deeper level what is the gospel, and so it was all different things that I began to understand, and so I was like coming to a different reality where like, wait, what? But I grew up with a task list in order for me to pursue God, and in order for me to feel loved by God. Versus over here on the other side, you've been accepted already because of Christ, in the position that you have in Him. And into that changed completely everything for me. And so it was a love for me to express more in a deeper level theology. And so I moved back home to Nicaragua to start a new church, to begin a new movement on the gospel, to begin to share the good news with the people, and how you can have a really good Christianity, but also in a good practice, like how you how you merge those one together, where yes, you can go to church and can do all the ritual thing, but then your life is different outside of that. You don't love your neighbor, you don't love the people, you don't help the people in need or anything like that. Those two things, it changed my life completely. And because of that, I would say, hey, how do we use the stick that we share from home, share and hear a little bit of our story, and then that way we can also fundraise through this and help our people back home as well too. So all that came together, and then we just started, more and more and more, and we got together with our families back in Nicaragua, all our friends, the people that we work together, and say, hey, will you feel comfortable to get into cigar with me? I told the pastors we can do the boxes, we do everything in the church, the boxes, cigars, and everything. And so that helped us to put the whole perspective together, and that's how we came up with this name of Reformed Cigar.
Wow, yeah, it's a great story, and it kind of leads me into one of my questions as well. And you pretty much answered a lot of it, but I saw on your website when I was doing a little research, it says discover the passion of our missional cigars. That really stood out to me because, I mean, it's like from day one, you didn't just start with a cigar company and then decided to start, helping a church or helping the community. It was one solid goal from the start, which is pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's our heart. That's what we do. What we do, we do it in a really careful way, because one, we don't have a lot of money like you would think, like, cigar company. A lot of people would think like, like there are millions behind it. Honestly, we don't. We produce small amount. We do it carefully as well too. We try not to get in debt and anything, trying to maintain the goal, clean as we can. And because of that, we're able to help and do what we do back home. And so we want to grow more and more and more exponentially, but we're not in a rush neither, just to go there, because we just want to produce for the sake of producing. So we want to do everything with quality. And what does it look like back home? The growth that we have here in the United States. Oftentimes we bring group of people back home. They see factory, we tour with them. They help us out in our community. They see what we do, and that's something that we're dreaming. The next 10 years. Hey, how do we grow this? But also, how do we not lose sight of what we got into it? We enjoy the great product, we enjoy everything that we do, but also has a purpose, a big purpose, behind the brand.
So let's talk about that purpose. I know you've said it a couple of times, you're using it as a fundraiser to help the church. So what is the the proceeds going towards? What is the purpose for selling the cigars? What are you helping?
Yeah, our dream is always I grew up in poverty, with lacking a lot of opportunities back home. For example, right now we're putting a new program that back in Jalapa, we're gonna put a big group of kids to start learning English. That's a big thing. A lot of call centers that are moving into the capital, some other cities. There's a great opportunity for them to work and not to be able to always think the first opportunity that I will have to just move into the United States and work and do the thing. You can do great in Nicaragua as well too, if you have the opportunity to go to school, and that will change your life. And so that's kind of what we do with the cigar, and help some pastors and leaders that are in the church and around the cigar industry. For example, our main guy that work with his name is Ariel. Great dude. He's the one who put together the boxes. We got machines that we fundraise slowly. Every cigars that we sell, we buy machines and things like that for him to operate that side of the industry. So he doesn't depend so much on offering tithing from the church or have that pressure. Hey man, they didn't give us tithing this week or anything like that. So he he's allowed to sustain himself by making the boxes for Reformed cigars. So that's something that big things that we do. And obviously he put a lot of art into it. He does really phenomenal job in every design that he does. And so it's a group of us working and together and putting our brain together for the sake of helping each other and helping our community.
I know you were just talking about, some of the box designs. I've seen some of the box designs. Do you have any of the boxes around that you can show, like some of the carvings and things like that?
So we have this one. Is the 315 right there. This is one of our newest boxes that we have done by him, design and everything. Great box. But I will say some of the amazing ones that he does as well too is a humidors.
That's gorgeous.
This is one of our humidors that he produced.
Wow.
Because, we have the machining, so you know what I mean. This is a beautiful art that he does over there back home. And obviously,
that is gorgeous.
You'll see it in there.
That's just as gorgeous.
Yeah. So 30, you can put 30 cigars in there. So he's really gifted, and man, we got the privilege to collaborate with him and be able to support him and everything that he does. You know what I mean? He's a founder with me as well too. He's part of this dream, so I don't feel like I own this or anything like that. So there's not credit so much on me, but into all those beautiful people that work behind the scene as well too.
Man, I usually save this for later in the show, but we're touching on it right now. So, band design to me, I love art. I'm kind of an artist. Charles is too. He never takes credit, but we love art, and like your cigars are a work of art, and your boxes are just as beautiful. Did you put a lot of was it your design when you were designing the bands, or whose idea was it to put like a triple band on? Because let's be honest, you guys are pretty young in the game. And you're putting triple bands on stuff and some amazing, beautiful bands. And the boxes, like Charles said, are just as amazing. So tell us a little bit about that.
Dude, honestly, I think we're super believers in what we do. We're aggressive again too into the game. I would say I'm the one that take the risk and put everything in place. Say, hey, let's just jump into this, and we're in it. You know what I mean? There is a story in the Bible, and I use this all the time for risk. And it's Peter, you know what I mean? When he sunk into the water, he's like, you're familiar with the story, trying to walk into the water, right? So I always use this illustration, say either we sink or Jesus will give us a hand and pull us out of there. So everything ever since that I've been into this, and when I used to be in Nicaragua just recently, one of the things that I do with the team is dream together. We have students, gifted people. I got great, amazing people emailing me all the time from here, China, all over the place. Hey, I can do this for you. I can do this for you. Obviously, we have a team that help us out as well too with our social media and things like that. But one of the things is like we're trying to keep everything back home. And be able to give those opportunity to our young students, young people, and say, hey, man, I have this idea. Will you put it together and let me know? You know what I mean? I'm not gifted in drawing or anything like that. I'm in a way, I'm the one to understand a little bit more of theology and the history of the church, reformers like John Calvin, John Knox, and all these guys. But then they're the one that put together everything in place. You know what I mean? So it's a team with students, it's a team of guys, allow them to dream. For example, this one, Redemption, right? So it's a beautiful drawing that we have there. There's a lot of history as well into that drawing. It's a really compact with history back in Genesis 3:15. But it was a student. I give him that idea, and he began to do the drawing and everything. And then we have another group, because that's what we do. We support students. So there is another group and say, hey, man, can you convert that one in a vector? Can you do this? And can you do? So it's a really beautiful group that we work. But the cool thing is, like, it's just when everything is finished and been done, and say, hey, here's the final product. How do you feel about it? You know what I mean? You put the hard work in here. You did this.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? You're the main guy in this. So they start believing in this. Why you cannot dream for yourself and do all the things? You know what I mean? So, and honestly, man, then we have another team, Humberto. He's from Miami. He worked with some incredible company as well too. So he helped us out with the finishing, for the designing of the label. And then we have another company in Miami that does the printing and everything. So people will think it's easy, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, like, you know what I mean, staying late, traveling, a lot of frustration. Believe it or not, there is a lot of envy in here. I got a lot of pastor from the United States trying to steal the name and everything, trying to trick us. I mean, we face a lot of opposition. And even people say, how do you come up with that name? Spurgeon was my boy. I thought about this. And so I understand that, you know what I mean? I know you don't like a guy from Nicaragua pulling the trigger and doing all these things, you know what I mean? So, but, you know, it helped us out to stand on our grounds and help our people as well too. And I always tell the people, hey, look, it's not easy, but we're in this, you know what I mean? So, and I got great other great companies, big, huge, giant company. They have a big history. The people, they encourage us, you know what I mean, to keep us pushing and stuff like that. I got a guy who, man, I use some of his material because he's such a great producer. He has about 800 workers in his field producing leaf. I will not tell you for what company he produced leaf, because one of his leaf is one of the top of the leaf in the world. But I learn from them as well too. I get encouraged. I go home, get smoked with the best of the best, and go in the field. You know what I mean? I think it's something really cool in this industry. You have to have the mentality and have a passion as a learner. You know what I mean? And be able to learn from the best and have the humility, even you feel like you're growing, but keep that in mind, the humility of, like, keep learning, keep seeking information, keep asking. And that's kind of what we do.
So let's go into the cigars that you have. I know you were just showing the redemption right there, and you said there's symbolism in, you know, every part of the band. I know the names behind each one of them, they all have symbolism or meaning behind the name. So let's start walking through some of those, and feel free to share what those bands and what those names mean, because I'm sure there's quite a few people that won't know that, and that's going to be a history that we would all like to learn.
Man, I would say, like, I'll start with the first one, Spurgeon. I think, you know, is a big dude on preaching, has a huge history into the mission field and Christianity. I think he's a really well-respected man into his mission, into preaching, into theology. One of the greatest reformers as well too. That most between Presbyterian, Baptist, and a lot of Christians, they are into history, into theology, respect him really well. I love his writing. I love his history. I love everything how he did church. He's a great dude. And so I had the opportunity to go to the college in Kansas, Midwestern Baptist University. And so for the first time, I was introduced to his museum. I saw the pipe, the cigars, and everything, the books, and all the history about him. And so because of that, I shared that with a team, and then we come up with the idea that he's a great, solid, well-respected man in history, and also he enjoys cigars. And so he has a bunch of joke about cigars and things like that, because he obviously, like any other Christian, right? He got a lot of pushback because the way he was smoking and doing ministry. And so it was a big deal for us to think in him. And so when we came up with the brand, I would say, because of Spurgeon we got some people buying our cigar. I will give that credit to that initiative to use a Spurgeon as a label, and also we proclaim the history of him as well. But also we don't just take advantage of a name, but also we use that for a great purpose as well too. Something that my team and I will always talk and say, how do we not take advantage of the name of the brand of the gospel, Christianity, or John Calvin, John Knox, or Spurgeon, and just because we want to go out there into the market and use that as a hook for people to do business with that, but how we also honor those guys, utilizing the product and using it in our communities for the good deeds. And so, because of each of those guys have a different path of history and Christianity, we use them a lot too. Like John Calvin, for example, huge guy in theology. We have this concept of the 5-point Calvinist. I'm a Calvinist guy that love that aspect of theology. So a lot of people don't like it because I understood that side of theology. I stuck with that. And our team in Nicaragua are into theology, and they love Calvinism as well too. And so that brought us the opportunity to put Calvin as a label and use a different line for Calvin. Also, John Knox is another big dude in history and Reformation as well too that we use. And so everything that we put together, it's just share part of the history of Christianity and a very robust theology toward our people in Nicaragua, because our people don't read, our people don't understand history, our people don't understand a lot of different things. And so that was the heart behind that.
So let's go to the cigar that you held up. You said there was a lot of meaning
Redemption.
behind the band. Yeah, the Redemption. Talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about the meaning behind the band, and then we'll go into let you describe the cigars. We'll let you talk about the different blends.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This one right here, called Redemption, is a beautiful story in the Bible where everything started, which is Genesis 3:15, right? So obviously the story of God, that God created all things perfect, and then create us, and then everything got messed up. And so that's kind of like, in a nutshell, that story. But then in Genesis 3:15, obviously God gave us another opportunity to redeem the world again, with the promise of the Messiah that it will come out of the seed of the woman, which is pointing forward to Mary, who will bring Jesus into the main story for humanity. And so all it is, it's just a redemptive opportunity for us to understand and meditate. Yes, we fall, we fail the task that God gave us. He created everything perfect, and then we failed the task. But then at the same time that we fail, God give it an opportunity in the meantime to give Jesus into the world to save us. And so that was a beautiful aspect of this. And then we put over there the foot of the woman crushing the snake, because it was a promise that God gave us, because out of the woman's seed will come the Messiah who will crush the snake, will mean, Satan. And then that's kind of the beauty of the gospel. And then we put a foot of the woman right there. And then on top over there, obviously we have the snake that has been crushed. And then on top over there, we have the crown with a celebration that Jesus is the risen king. And Sunday, everybody will talk about it. He died, and then he's now the risen king. So in the Western, it's a big day. And probably that one and Christmas are the top day in the United States, which is a little sad, but it's part of the history of our country. Everybody get together to celebrate that. And so we use that opportunity to come with this design and be able to share, in a group, man, and people will ask questions. So for Christian, it will give a big opportunity for them to share the story of the gospel into our label in there.
I will say, just because of the symbolism behind that cigar and the band, that makes me want to try that cigar, because we always say in cigars there's two things you don't talk about. You don't talk about politics, and you don't talk about religion. The two things I love to talk about the most is politics and religion. So listening to you talk about this is something that if we were sitting in a cigar lounge together, we would be there 3 or 4 cigars in, because I would not be able to stop talking. So I'm loving this, and the fact, just symbolism around that again makes me want to try that cigar. So let's move on into your other cigars. I think Mick has a question before we do that, but let's go through the profile or the portfolio and see. Let's start learning about what you have to offer. What do you got, Mick?
Man, I feel like I'm interrupting now. So I was just gonna say, man, just seeing how much time and effort you put into that's amazing. So I was just gonna do a little history lesson for you here. So my dad's 91. I grew up in a very religious household. I've never smoked a cigar with my dad, and I'm actually going home to see him in about a month. For whatever reason, doing this show is talking to me and saying I need to take some of your cigars up there and have one of those cigars with him and let him listen to this episode, because this is the longest I've ever gone without cursing on an episode. So maybe we listen to the episode together and finally have that cigar together. Yeah. I'm doing freaking great right now. So just wanted to throw that in there, and
I'm so proud of you.
Maybe I can use this as a bridge to finally have that cigar with my dad, because he used to be a cigar smoker, a terrible cigar smoker, but a cigar smoker. So I just wanted to throw that in there quick. But yeah, feel free to get back to your line. I'll stop interrupting. I promise.
So let's go into the line. What are the cigars? I see a big poster behind you. I went onto the website today to start looking at some of the stuff that you got in your core line, and you've got some awesome looking cigars back there. So let's start going through them and start telling everybody what cigars you guys are producing right now.
Man, quite frankly, also we're cooking 3 new line right now. One is gonna be organic. So we have those one in the aging room right now. Just we've been testing one. People love that one. It'll be a new limited edition Spurgeon. But then we got Spurgeon as the first one. We come up with a Spurgeon with 3 different lines. One Connecticut that we're using for the people that love Connecticut. I think that it's been one of the hot sales, because it's really nice medium body cigar, between light and medium that people love. Very creamy, very nice. I will not say it's the number one, but it's up there. It's one of the ones that people use a lot. Then we come up with Spurgeon the Blue. Has a Mexico San Andres, that we use that Indonesian aspect that we carry as well too. Fillet from Jalapa that we use as a Indonesian binder. It produces a beautiful something about the Indonesians that I love as well too. I love the complexity of the flavor that they bring into the cigars. And then we have the teal that is a little lighter than the blue one, for the people that still love to smoke Maduro, but they don't feel like it's overwhelmed power. You know what I mean? That is going to kill your palate. So we're trying to use those ones that they will have a little bit of different level in terms of power. And we use the teal more likely as a bulk press as well too. Then we move to John Knox, that we use a Habano and John Knox. Those are one of our newest as well too. John Knox, we use a Sumatra wrapper to bring that sweetness into the Sumatra. Very good. We love it. The red one, very nice, medium, between mild and medium, very sweet cigars. Another one that people love a lot is that one. A lot of people say, hey, this is just like Romeo and Juliet. Come on, say, we gotta become original. Better than that, just kidding. Very good as well too. John Calvin's, we make that one 6x60, one of our thicker cigars that we have. We use a Habano, and the Habano that we use in John Calvin is from Ecuador, and very good profiles that we created in that one as well too. 6x60s, a little bigger cigars, and obviously then we have redemptions. We have it in Connecticut, and we have also in San Andres, and we use a Corojo filler for those one, and Jalapa filler as well too. Corojo, love Corojo. Not many people produce Corojo. It's very hard. We did the Corojo in collaboration with Aganorsa Leaf. We use their Corojo. Is some them are like the one that produce the most Corojo in Jalapa. Also, they have a Corojo cigar as well too. I don't know if you have smoked that one from Aganorsa Leaf. Very good. They have a small land over there. That's the only one they can produce that leaf. Something about the industry in cigar is crazy. Let me tell you this. Aganorsa have a particular lot in Nicaragua and Jalapa, and to produce Corojo. And the same seed in a different, it can be about 15 miles away from that particular area, but the leaf will behave and it will bring a different profile. And so that's how crazy it is, like how everything can change from any small distance. And so that's how much affects cigar as well too. Like in Esteli will behave the leaf different, or Metepe will behave very different. It can be the same leaf. And so that's why you will see a lot of mixer from Jalapa, Condega, Esteli, or Metepe. Those are the main 4 pillars that we carry in Nicaragua.
So what tobacco is it that you enjoy using the most? You personally, what do you like?
I say it now, dude. It's depend the mood. It's depend of the day. Like if I would start early in the morning, I will start with a Connecticut with coffee, just my pour over, because I'm a big dude in coffee as well too. We produce a lot of coffee, and that's a other side of the industry that we have. So I will have just dark coffee with my Connecticut. And then if I move into the middle of the day, I have an espresso machine that I can do my latte with espresso, and I will bring in a Habano because it's the middle of the day. If I want to have a drink around the evening, if I'm grilling and doing things, and then I will put together, a Spurgeon, the blue. It's a little more power with a little drink, some rum, something like that, and I will cook. You know what I mean? So it'll depend of the date. And how I feel as well too. That's kind of the beauty of cigars, right? Depend of your mood. That's how you have the tendency. You have the the opportunity to smoke. Hey, I feel like I want a lighter one. I'm not ready for Maduro right now. Strong bowl, heavy body cigar. So I feel like I want something like a little more lighter, something in the medium. If you are doing different things, so. So it'll depend of the day. So I enjoy them all. I wouldn't say they don't have a preference. I would say John Knox, the red one, it's a very sweet cigar. I love it a lot. I enjoy that one a lot, big time as well too. Our news that we're bringing right now is going to be really awesome. A little more power. We put more ligero on that one, our limited edition. And a Spurgeon, and we add another element from Condega, which the other cigars don't have. So it bring a different profile for our cigars, and we made it a 6x60 as well.
Wow, yeah, we're fans of Ligero for sure. So that's we're excited to try that one as well at some point in the future. So I know you mentioned earlier. I think there's 2 things really as a cigar smoker that enhance the cigar, and that's the people you're smoking it with, and a pairing, whether it be, coffee or an alcoholic drink or whatever. I know you mentioned earlier about rum. What would be your cigar to pair with rum? That is one of my favorites, is doing some rum neat or on the rocks. What would be your pairing for rum with a cigar?
Dude, I got my thing from Nicaragua. I love Flor de Caña. That's my main. That's my main thing. But otherwise, it'll be between that and little beer. You know, and I think you were having a Corona right there. It got really well with cigars as well too. It's a Mexican Latino drink. That go really well as well too, you know. But I will say a lot that I enjoy it with coffee, just because I continually taste the coffee and continually roast. I roast my own coffee as well too, and so I love to, you know what I mean, to taste the formulas that we're carrying and everything, so and see how everything balanced together.
It's amazing how much coffee and cigars go together, for sure. It's something
Have
that
you
I look forward to.
the caña from Nicaragua?
I don't think so. I've recently gone down a rabbit hole with rums and somewhat bourbons because of that guy above me. But I enjoy that 2-finger pour, and he's also enjoying tequila because of me. So we're kind of bad influences on each other. But I have gone down a rabbit hole a little bit with bourbon, but rum is definitely my go-to.
There we go, Santo. There we go. Look at that, man. That will be a class that I will have to take. I'm not an expert in rum or tequila neither.
Yeah, that's two of my favorites for sure. Tequila and rum were my favorite go-tos forever. I stayed away from bourbons. I had too many bad experiences growing up, but I've recently ventured back into it, and I gotta say, with a cigar, it definitely is a great pairing. So,
gotcha. What's your favorite brand when you smoke? On tequila?
Of tequila, probably Siete Ligue 7. I probably said that wrong because I pronounce words wrong, but it's probably my favorite. Yeah, Charles is laughing at me. Somebody can correct me in the comments. I've bought all the expensive bottles, and none of them hold up to what I think they should be. I found so many natural bottles that I follow this guy online that kind of goes over the ones that are all natural blue agave, and I just kind of follow him, and whatever he's saying is great at that time. You know, at around, you know, between $60 and $100 a bottle, and I'd rather spend that than spend $250 on a bottle of Clase Azul or 1942. But yeah, that Siete Ligue 7. I'm still probably saying it wrong, but it's still my favorite. The Añejo is definitely my favorite.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Sweet.
So before we go into the next one, Cigars with Angel says, I want to thank you, Mr. Gomez, for the 4-pack of cigars. I'm looking forward to enjoying them this weekend.
Sweet. Awesome. Thank you for
And
supporting us.
Josephus says, Orange Crush, Cameroon, and some Japanese whiskey.
Okay.
That could be interesting, putting it all together.
Yeah.
So what does your brand, what do you have in store for the future? I mean, we're in the first quarter of 2025. What are you looking forward to by the end of the year?
And I think in the next 3 weeks, we're bringing a new limited edition, Spurgeon Blue. It's going to be 6x60. Element from Ometepe. We increase our ligero in there, so get more boldness into the cigar, more body. That would be our newest one, and I believe, man, close to or before November. We're cooking right now a new one. It's going to be organic cigar. In Jalapa, I have a new partner. He's a good friend of mine. He loves environmental to protect the environment, and so we've been thinking and dreaming how to produce organic cigars, and so we finally pulled the trigger. I'm running the first test in the next 3 weeks, but that will be released in November. Everything will be from origin from Jalapa for sure.
Awesome. Presidente Eric, new name, I think. I'm not sure that we've seen Mr. Presidente on here. He says, I seem to enjoy a Cuban-esque cigar with rum, but I usually pair coffee in the mornings and an ice cold burr in the evenings.
That's a good one.
Cool. So
Can't disagree with any of that.
I enjoy coffee with cigars, just about any cigar with coffee. So, Mick, are you ready to jump into some hotbox questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Do you have anything else you would like to ask before we jump into it?
I think no, I mean, we'll do the follow up with him afterwards. But no, I think I'm good, man. It was a great interview so far, man. We'll see how he does on the hot box questions here. We'll have some fun.
All right, so real
Easy
quickly,
on me.
we need to talk to our sponsors for the hot box questions.
Hey
and that
guys,
is always
listen
brought
up.
to you by-
Give your beard the VIP treatment it deserves with Beard Apothecary. They are a small business on a big mission, crafting top-tier beard care products made by hand in small batches for ultimate freshness and care. A healthy, well-groomed beard isn't just a look, it's a lifestyle. That's why they use only the finest premium butters and oils to deeply nourish your beard and skin. No more dryness, irritation, or those dreaded split ends. Your beard will be living its best life, soft, manageable, and downright irresistible. At Beard Apothecary, they believe in the power of natural ingredients and serious pampering. Why settle for basic when your beard can be freaking legendary? Check them out at beardapothecary.com or on Instagram at beard_apothecary. Your beard will thank you.
And as always, we want to thank everybody over at Beard Apothecary. Without you guys being the first people who believed in us, we probably wouldn't be where we're at. So huge thanks to John and his amazing wife for sponsoring us. So hotbox questions are 10 random questions that we're going to ask you. You can take your time and think about them. You can give us short answers, long answers. You can have fun with it. It's nothing too serious. It's just some 10 more questions that we can use to get to know you. So are you ready to play?
Let's do it.
All right, Mick, you got question number 1.
All right. So this is a little bit of a weird one, but I'd like to lead off with it. What is your least favorite sound?
Oof. Probably when I'm at church and the mic is not working and there is that sound that is just like
The screeching.
really terrible. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Everybody has a sound, man, and everybody's like, "Ooh, yep, that's it."
All right, so question number 2, fill in the blank for me. For me, cigars is all about what?
Community.
Okay.
Man, that is consistent among almost all of our guests. Everybody's building that community, man. That's amazing. I love it. I hope everybody continues to answer that way. All right, so do you have a favorite band or artist?
Oof. Man, if I on the world that I'm in, Christianity, yeah, I would say Southern Grace, some Latino guys like Jonathan Jerez, which is from Dominican Republic, but he led a church in Chicago. So I can mention a bunch, but yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Great answer.
All right, so question number 4, what is your favorite guilty pleasure?
I think smoking a cigar when I don't have the time.
All right.
That makes sense. Yeah, we've all been there. All right, so here's one that gets mixed reactions. I'll leave it at that. Is cereal a soup?
No. I would not consider it a soup, but that was a weird one. I never was asked that before. I will ask that one later to somebody else.
I always try to talk people into it because it's nutrition in liquid, so I mean,
I know. It make you think. It make you think.
All right, so question number 6. What is the one thing in your life that you're the most proud of?
Say that one again.
What is one thing in your life that you're the most proud of?
Man, I would say I was speaking to the world that I'm in right now, right? So I would say the cigar, jump into the cigar when my culture is against it.
All right.
I can say my kid, I can say other thing, but
Yeah.
this is a huge one where
No, this doesn't
you
have to
are
be about cigars. This doesn't have to be about anything. It could be about anything in your
yeah,
life.
yeah,
Whatever the
yeah, yeah,
one thing in your life you can say you're the most proud of.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go to question 7. If you could choose a superpower, what would it be and why?
Man, if I can become invisible, I think I will use that one, so I can hide really well from the junk that I carry sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right, so question number 8, and this one was geared more towards you. What is the one passage in Scripture that reaches you more than any other?
Man, I will say Ephesians 2, 1 to 8, because it's all about grace, undeserving grace, and it's all about God. It's nothing that I can do or boast in it, but it's just a beautiful gift given by God to us.
Nice.
Very nice. Well said. All right, so this one's a little deep. So here we go. Uncle Mitch just said, "Sit down, Devin." That's great. So if you could have dinner with any historical figure, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh man, I think I will have a meal with that guy that died right next to Jesus, that thief that put his hope at the last second on Jesus, and he went right to heaven. And he never went to church. He was all messed up, but it was that chance. And I would just ask that question: how he made it, how he put the faith in him, and ask all the questions. You know what I mean? That he never went to church. He never faced anything as far as religions, but that day changed his life forever and eternity.
All right.
Very well said.
So last question of the night. What is the best piece of advice you have ever been given?
Man, I would say I'm a runner. I'm an aggressive guy in project and things like that, and just slow and take my time.
All right. So, like that, as we always do, it's been another great episode. We're going to give the floor to you. How can anybody find any information about you, either on social, website? Where can they buy your cigars? Is there anything that we missed that we should have asked that we didn't? The floor is yours.
And I think, first of all, I want to say thank you to you guys, for this incredible opportunity. Thank you for the audience that you have, and we're super grateful. And we would just ask your beautiful people, whoever is listening the show and whoever is follow you, to follow us on social media and share what we do with their friends. That would be a big deal. And obviously, we have our website, reformedcigar.org, where they can purchase the cigars. We keep 10% on sales for anybody. We got a subscription. They save a lot of money as well too. There's a big giant support in there if they subscribe monthly or bi-weekly. But if they can help us out with social media, so just because we don't work with ads or anything like that, we maintain everything very organic. It will be a big blessing if they can just like us, follow us, and then share with other people. Will be a big giant help. And obviously buy a product, because of that. That's how we do business and how we help.
Absolutely. No, I will say, just in my last little bit here, we always say this, man. If you're ever looking to promote something in the future, or come back on, if you got a new line coming out or you want to do something, little selfless plug for us, but hopefully we help you in the process. If you ever want to come back on, reach out. You're now part of the Real Smoke podcast family. And if you want to tag us in some stuff, man, if you want us to repost some stuff for you or put it out there, we'll gladly put it out. We got a decent following. It grows every day. And we're always looking to help the smaller brands out and people we enjoy talking to. And like I said, you're part of that family now, man. So whatever you need, reach out to us, and hopefully we can do this again sometime in the future.
Sweet, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. We're super grateful. Absolutely.
Like we told you before, all you got to do is collaborate with us on the podcast page or on either one of our personal ones, and we will make sure that we get the information out. We're not someone that, just because we have you on here, once we have you on here, we're not going to talk to you again. Anytime that you have anything that you've got going on, we are happy to share it because you were gracious enough to give us your time. So, we can only be honored enough to be able to share the information that you have. So make sure you tag us and stuff. Make sure you collaborate with us and stuff. And we would absolutely love to help you all out.
Appreciate it, man. So grateful. Thank you for the time and opportunity as well.
No problem. Thank you so much for jumping on here. And Mick, I'll let you, if you have anything else to say.
And I don't have a whole lot. We appreciate you. And like I said, it's been great getting to know you tonight. And anything you need in the future, man, get with us. And we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much. We will let you get on with the rest of your evening. Thank you for jumping on here, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care, buddy.
Take it easy, man. And just like that, number 27 is in the books. So great episode, great show. We still got a lot more going on. We do have some drawings to give away tonight. We do have a cigar review to go in. We got some cigar news. We got Meanwhile in Memphis. So the show's not over yet, so don't leave us. Let's get into some comments really quickly. We do have... I do know I said this one. I don't know if we've had him on here before, but if he's on here, I would love for him to say hi again. But Presidente Eric, Josephus says, let your soul glow. Oh, man. Great reference to a great movie, Beard Apothecary. All I can think of is every time I see that is sexual chocolate. Great movie. Great movie. Beard Apothecary, best stuff on the market from Pedro Ramos. I would 100% agree. Mick and I both are users of Beard Apothecary, and I can't say for him, but I've thrown away everything else that I own that is beard related just to be able to go use that stuff. Uncle Mitch says, sit down, Devin. Quit going in and out of the door. You're trying to get way too much camera time.
He's on a 5-second delay, so he'll be laughing in 2 seconds.
That'll work. Real Smoke. Let's see. Josephus said. Yeah, that was delayed. Sounded like, I don't know. Anyways, Mug Rug is his favorite beard jelly. Josephus says his favorite line is "Jesus wept." The shortest verse in the Bible. Jesus wept. Let's see. YouTube things. 100%. If you're on here, make sure that you are doing the YouTube things. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure that you share if you're involved in any cigar, whiskey, or whatever kind of clubs on Instagram or whatever. Make sure that you send this link to all your people. Make sure they're watching. Watch it in replay as well. If you're watching in replay, make sure you subscribe. Uncle Mitch says, great podcast tonight. Thanks, Al, for sharing with us tonight. Continue on, my brother. Pedro also says, great show, guys. Love it.
Thanks, bro.
Dave jumps on here, says, another great show, guys. Greg on here, great show. Love what you guys do. Man, we absolutely love the fact that you love what we do because we're enjoying the hell out of it. No pun intended. Hashtag Miss Mick lost his swear words. He did
Fucking
very
A.
well tonight. Everybody should give him a hand for that one. I mean, my goodness, Mick. I mean, yeah, go Mick. This is the least he said. Cigars with Angel says, great show and interview. We appreciate that. Got a few more real smokes on here. They want to win stuff. Little baby Debbie says, FYI, I did the second late laugh on purpose. Sure he did. Challenging thing to do. I'm built different like that. That's what she said. She definitely says he is built different.
You know, it feels like, you know how they always say filmed in front of a live audience? That's how I feel when I come to Devin's house.
Yeah.
I love it. It's filmed in front of a live audience.
He is our personal laugh track. That is hilarious. All right, so we do have a cigar review to do before we get to the prizes. So our cigar review is brought to you by...
Tonight's cigar review is proudly sponsored by Cigar Army. The Cigar Army is a community brought together by their shared love of cigars, but bonded by something much deeper, their mission to give back to those in need. Through Operation Give Back, they honor the courage and dedication of our military and first responders, both active and retired. Their bravery and selflessness make the freedoms we enjoy possible, including this very moment to sit here, share a cigar, and connect with our Real Smoke audience. Every puff carries a story. Every draw is a tribute to their sacrifices. This isn't just about cigars, it's about gratitude, about compassion, and about giving back to the heroes who shaped our lives. Join them in the mission to make a difference, one cigar at a time. Check them out on Instagram at Cigar Army 3 or search Cigar Army on Facebook. Together, we can turn our passion into purpose.
I will say this. I know some of these ad spots are a little long, but damn, these ad spots are good. I absolutely love the message that they put forth for each of the brands that support us. So, hope you guys, hope you guys enjoy the ads as well. And if you don't, hey, they support us. Support them.
A little shout out, extra shout out to Cigar Army. They're doing something coming up soon, so they're going to have a little bit of a live spot with us. We're still working out dates, but I've been talking to Rich and the other founders, and they got something coming up that they want a little help promoting, and that's what we're here for. They help us, we help them, and they're a great organization, great bunch of guys. So we're happy to do that for them. We'll get the dates worked out, and look forward to seeing them join us for a little bit. So looking forward to that.
So before we jump into this one, Maddie jumps on here. We got to say a big shout out to Maddie. Maddie was the one who hooked us up with Al. Huge thanks to Maddie. Thank you so much for the hookup. We appreciate you. And if any of our listeners, whether you are cigar reps, cigar brand owners, or anything like that, if you have somebody that you think would fit in on the show and would be a good fit for us, please send the information our way or have them reach out to us. It works a whole lot better when the brand owner reaches out to us, because it doesn't look like we're just trying to, go hunt down different people. So again, if you guys are, friends with somebody who would be a good fit on here, whether they're an accessory maker or they're a whiskey maker or a cigar maker, give us a shout out, help us out. But he says this Saturday, April 19th, Shelby, Ohio, come meet Ish from Banff Cigars and Al Gomez from Reformed Cigars.
Oh, wow.
Come over there, check them out and get to meet them. El Presidente says, great show. And Rob says, Dev is going in and out of the door and needs to be a part of the show. He should change outfits every time.
He'll be laughing about that in a few minutes.
He needs to come in dressed like, all bundled up in a blanket and like a hoodie and stuff. And then next time come out wearing swim trunks and a Speedo or something.
We got to do it.
Completely change it up every time. Or he comes like like zombie walking out one time, or he comes dancing the next time.
We're doing it.
We need to go
Yeah.
through with it.
We're doing it next time. Next time I come to Devin's
All
house, it is on. Rob, thank you. Winner. I hope
Yeah.
you win tonight. Saying winner. Yeah, that's great.
He needs to come out dressed in a military outfit. He needs to come in dressed like a clown. Like every 20 minutes or so, he needs to come out dressed like something else. So sad
most
I didn't
distracting.
hear Animal Kingdom and Street Racing in the background.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, I had to take a break tonight from that and figured I'd just do the Devin Door thing. It's there's always a theme with me. So
Yeah. Jordan says, or do a dance. Yes, 100%. Just come out strutting. Peacock strutting. All right, so let's get into the cigar review. As always, you go first, my man.
all right.
As
So
my kids say at my business, let her rip, tater tip.
did they really say that?
Yes.
All right. So Reformed Cigars, CH Spurgeon. I will say, as I mentioned in the show, the triple band impressed me. The construction was absolutely amazing. I really did enjoy the cigar. I will say, aroma from the body, light hay, a little bit of barnyards, tobacco sweetness, aroma from the foot. I got barnyard and a light woodsy note, possibly cedar. Taste from the cold draw is woodsy, a little bit earthy, and some leather. First third, I got some salted caramel, so almost like, and I got some light coffee. So as I went through that first third, I was tasting like a caramel macchiato. Honestly, I got those light notes of like a caramel macchiato, a little bit of cedar notes, some baking spices. The first third was a little bit earthy, which scared me a little bit because I don't love that earthiness. It kind of went away into the second third, but that first third had me a little bit nervous. On the retro, I got leather and light black pepper. Second, third notes, got a little bit of chocolate, some espresso, some light cedar. Still had a little bit of caramelness. It kind of faded a little bit. And I started getting some bready notes, just off and on bready notes. And that light cedar still remained. On the back end, on the retro, I got leather and creaminess, touch of pepper. Final third notes, I got some dark chocolate, just hints of dark chocolate, light espresso, a creaminess, a breadiness, and baking spices, and that cedar still remained. Retro was still a little bit of leather, creaminess, and some bready notes, honestly, on the back end as well. So my scores are pre-light experience, 18 out of 20. The like I said, the look, the construction, it was great. Flavor enjoyment, 13 out of 15. Construction characteristics, I had one touch up, a little bit wavy. It wasn't bad, but it burnt phenomenally. 27 out of 30. Smoke production and final third thoughts, 32 out of 35. I gave it a 90.
All right, a 90. All right, so let me go ahead and add that in really quickly. All right, so I will say this. You were talking about construction. Before I read my stuff, I will say this. Flavors were fantastic. I enjoyed the flavors a lot. What I did not enjoy is the fact that I fought with this freaking cigar the entire smoke.
Wow.
So you didn't have construction issues. I did.
None. Wow.
So aroma off the body, sweet tobacco manure, molasses. Aroma off the foot, tobacco, raisins, little fig Newton. Taste off the cold draw, tobacco, dark fruit, and earth. On the light, black pepper, oak, earth, retro, strong black pepper, oak. Draw is wide open. It was one of those that, taking a draw off of it was like, okay, is there anything going to be there? I will say open. It was an extremely open draw. Couple puffs, good amount of smoke. Into the first third, bold black pepper, espresso, earth, and oak. Retro is a strong black pepper, espresso, and cedar. Burn is a little crazy and needed a slight touch up. Ash split at the beginning and dropped right away. Got better now holding a bit flaky. Draw is wide open and more loose than I like. Finishes long and leaves a black pepper and a slight tobacco sweetness all over the palate. Smoke is okay, full bodied, medium plus strength, strength headed and creeping up to more of a full. Into the second, notes up front is earth espresso. Got that earth like you was talking about. Earth espresso, almond, and a slight dark chocolate note. Retro is black pepper, less harsh than before. Espresso and a slight cedar sweetness. Slight cream note pops up every now and then. Burn needed another touch up, and a relight was needed. Ash is doing okay after the relight. Draws loose, but still getting an okay amount of smoke. Finish is long and leaves you with black pepper and a creamy sweetness. Full bodied, slight full strength. In the final third, notes up front are espresso dark chocolate and an almond. Retro is espresso dark chocolate with a slight black pepper. Burn is still a little crazy, but the ash has gotten better. Draw is still wide open. Finish is long and leaves you with dark chocolate, pepper finish, full bodied, slight full in strength. So, again, great flavors. I just get irritated when I got to constantly fiddle with the cigar. Pre-light experience is 18 out of 20. I think we hit about the same thing. Flavor enjoyment, 13 out of 15. I think we were really close on that one as well. Smoke construction characteristics, I gave it an 8 out of 10 in construction, 8 out of 10 in draw, and an 8 out of 10 in burn. It was good. I mean, had to fight with it. Smoke production and final thoughts. Overall experience, get a 16 out of 20 just because I had to fight with it. Smoke production and texture. Smoke was fine. It was good. Would I buy a box? I would add it to my rotation. Gave it an 8 out of 10. Leaves my scores with an 83.
Okay. And most of it was construction for you.
Yeah, all of mine was construction. If I would have had to fiddle with it, it would have been probably really close to yours. So you gave it a 90, I gave it an 83. It comes out to an 86.5. Since it hit that 0.5 mark, we do round up. This cigar, I want to get it right, the CH Sturgeon Maduro Blue Label gets an 87 from the Real Smoke podcast. So 87 is not bad. Close to 90.
Yeah. I wish yours would have burnt well, man. Mine actually was nearly perfect on construction the entire way, and draw was great. It was awesome. So yeah, it happens, man. But we got a lot of the same flavor notes, so it says it's a great flavored cigar. Just a great texture. I was impressed.
Oh, yeah.
But
so I will say, I mean, still 87 pretty good. I did enjoy the cigar. I did not say I wouldn't add it to my rotation. I would smoke it again. I would smoke it on a weekly basis. I would just hope that, I would get some that I didn't fight with. Interested in trying a few more. I would like to try the Redemption. The Redemption Maduro. That one seems like it's up my alley. A few comments really quickly. The Mashville says you should try to get Nancy Fraley and talk about Joseph Magnus cigar blend and her favorite cigar pairings. I will say this: when we did the female domination month, Nancy Fraley was the first person that I invited. The second person I invited. Alex Castle was the first. Nancy Fraley I tried to get up with and never got a response back. So if you have any connections with Nancy, I would absolutely love to have her on here because she is she paired one of my favorite whiskeys that was made for cigars. She's also pairing making some new whiskeys right now with Still Austin. And she's a big pipe person. So I would love to get her on here. So if you have a connection, hook us up.
Heck yeah.
Jordan says he misses the geese.
They'll be back next week. I promise.
No peacocking. Mashville says, could you send me how you do your ratings? Thinking about doing some reviews, and I'm trying to set a standard. Hey, I do know somewhere that you can buy a nice review book that has, I think, 50 cigar reviews in it, and it's $25. We have a few people on here tonight that's already bought one, so if you're interested, hit me up. I can have one printed for you. And it's actually the same one that we use right here. Anyways, selfless plug. Pedro says, #RealSmoke. He's really wanting to win something. So is Rob the Cigar Czar. And then Jason on here says, #RealSmoke. Maddie, one more time. Thank you very much, Maddie, for hooking us up. #RealSmoke. And then Josephus says, I got a 4-pack of Fratello for $12. 3 of the 4 smoke like $12 cigars. I am a fan, and I recommend the Fratello Camo series. Cool. We'll have to check those out.
Heck yeah.
So, once again, I will congratulate because, 87 is a decent score. It's a really good score. So, congratulations to them. Guys, make sure that you're typing in #RealSmoke. We do have 2 prizes to give away. We do have a $25 gift card to the Cigar Vault in Oakdale, as well as a 3-pack of cigars from Katie Cigars. And really quickly, let Mick, if you got anything to say, you want to jump in, I will go ahead and get this stuff set up while everybody types in their #really smoky stuff.
I don't have a whole lot to say. I'm going to also do a selfless plug. I know you guys have all been checking out my awesome shirt tonight. So if anybody's interested in Real Smoke shirt, our merch store is live, and the shirts are reasonably priced. And I will say I've washed this like 10 times now, and it's still perfect. Like it's one of the better companies that we tried out before we settled on one. So I just ordered a few more myself, so you'll get to see me in all of it coming up soon. So if you want to check that out, we got some pretty good ones, and I'm going to be creating a few new ones this weekend per my co-host. He would like me to do a couple for him, so I'm gonna work on that this weekend. So there's some new stuff will be going up then.
Alrighty, so let's see how this works. Hey, we got some music. Let's see if this thing doesn't freeze up while I do this. And by the way, if you guys haven't been listening to some of the posts that I've been putting out, we have some Real Smoke music that's been going on with a lot of our
Meanwhile in
posts,
Memphis. The Meanwhile in Memphis are amazing.
Wait. We could do... All right, so we'll play some Meanwhile in Memphis while we're doing this. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and draw the names. We got some entries in there. Who's going to be the one who's going to win the 3-pack of cigars from Katie Cigars? Let's see. Jordan. Jordan is the one who is...
Jordan wins again.
And Devin in the background having to say, OMG. Biggie Bear.
Mick and Charles, they light the flame. Cigars in hand, never playing tame. And pour the whiskey, let it burn real slow. On the Real Smoke Podcast, the stories flow. Guess we're rolling with...
It looks like Biggie Bear is here. He says, me too. I guess that means he's here. There he is. Congrats Jordan,
brother.
From Big Debbie. So Katie Cigars gets Jordan. Let's go for the $25 gift card from Cigar Vault. I was about to say Beard Apothecary for some reason. I mean, if they wanted to do one.
I think last week.
Let's draw again. Here we go.
I think last week you may have said Beard Apothecary.
$25 gift card to Beard.
They were really confused, but you only had half an hour sleep.
Yeah. Oh no! The Devi wins. Devi is not here.
Dev's not here. That's what he just said. Dev's not here. We're moving on.
Cigar Clowns and Chapio collection.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Where'd he go? Did we lose Charles? I thought we lost.
All right, I had to go here. I actually dropped my pen right in the floor, and I'm on a platform, a stage, so I could not reach down there and grab it. So I had to go over to the other smoking area and grab that one. So Dev, go ahead. You know the deal. Go give Mick all your wonderful stuff, which he already has.
Yep,
And
had to put it in my GPS tonight to get here. So yeah.
So we'll go ahead and stop that screen, pull us back up. Congratulations to Jordan for winning the 3-pack of cigars from Katie Cigars. And congratulations to little baby Debbie for winning a $25 gift card that he is going to be so gracious to split the money up and buy Mick and I some awesome cigars as a thank you for letting him win.
Heck yeah.
Pedro says, congratulations, fellas. Pedro, thank you for jumping on here. I think it's the first time we've seen you on our podcast, and we greatly appreciate you jumping on here. We hope that you like what you saw, and since you are a brand owner, you're not like, holy shit, I'm not jumping on with these fools. I don't want anything to do with it, and I'm going to run as fast as I possibly can from them.
Just a prerequisite. I do usually curse a lot more, and I'm a little more funny, but I tried to keep it calm tonight, so I'm doing what I can.
Is Mick going to create an Aldi Jizz shirt this weekend?
Ooh, we could do a collab. We'll see what it says. Hashtag Aldi Jizz on the bottom. Maybe. We'll see what it says.
Just across the front, we could have our logo on the back and just in text across the front that says that.
Oh, or Tanya's our favorite Aldi. I mean, one of those two. It's got to be one of those two hashtags.
Or we could have our logo on the front and then a bunch of different hashtags on the back that just says, like, Tanya's a favorite Aldi, hashtag Aldi Jizz.
I think it would be, yeah, I think we could do a collab. I don't know if John would sign off on it, but I bet you Tanya would. So we'll work on that.
Isn't there something about asking for forgiveness instead of permission?
Get a creamy nutty candle.
There is. Devin wants a creamy nutty candle. That sounds a little crazy.
I'm sure that every time he's gone into the house, he's already been making that candle.
Hell yeah.
So let's see. Pedro says, what's he say? He says, yes, definitely. Thank you. Great show, guys. Me and my brother would love to be on the show and send us you guys some cigars. Hey, we would enjoy that as well.
Oh yeah. We've been hearing great things about your company, man. We're excited.
100%. By the way, we do have cigar news coming up, and meanwhile in Memphis, we do want to thank. Let me see if I can get this pulled up really quickly. We're gonna pull him up here in a minute, anyways, just to say thank you. My computer's freezing as always. You guys know better than that. We did. Our giveaway, one of our giveaways was from Katie Cigar Company. We do want to thank them for jumping on. We do have a couple of different brands, and we'll go over this one here in a second. But we do have a couple of brands like Katie Cigar, as well as Rebellion Cigar, who has worked out something with us to where they enjoy what we're doing. And they, one of them said, as a thank you for what we do for the community, they just wanted to give some cigars to us and some merch and stuff like that for us just to give away. So over the next couple of weeks, we will be giving away, I think every other week, we will be giving away something from Katie Cigar until they come on the podcast. And then we will have 2 or 3 different giveaways for Rebellion Cigars. So again, if any of the brands that are listening on here, Lore has done it with us quite a few times as well. If you're interested in just sponsoring like Meanwhile in Memphis or something for a night and you want to give away something to a prize or a prize pack to somebody, you're more than welcome to contact us. And I mean, the only thing it does for us is to be able to put some of your cigars in somebody else's hands. So we'd be more than welcome and willing to do that one. So,
and you get a beautiful graphic designed by Charles leading into the segment. So, I mean, hey, it's a win-win for everybody. It's awesome.
They're not too bad. They're kind of nice. I like them.
Awesome.
So next thing we got coming up is Cigar Public News, as well as Meanwhile in Memphis. So let's jump into some Cigar Public News really quickly.
The news segment of the Real Smoke podcast is fired up by none other than Cigar Public. Dive into the world of cigars like never before at cigarpublic.com. your one-stop destination for the latest cigar industry news, honest cigar reviews, whiskey articles, and so much more. It's everything you need to elevate your smoking game. Light up your curiosities at cigarpublic.com or follow them on Instagram at cigarpublic. Because life is too short for boring cigars and blend contact.
This is great. I needed this.
Awesome. So huge thanks to Cigar Public for everything that you guys are doing for us. We appreciate you guys' support. We have a couple of different articles to talk about. First one is from a brand that we know about, and a lot of people know about the other one, but it's a brand that I've been wanting to, when our schedule opens up, I want to get on board and get them on the show. But you've heard of Apostate Cigars, haven't you?
Absolutely.
It was just announced that Apostate Cigars is to join the Oveja Negra brand in June. In a press release, we are pleased to announce that Apostate Cigars will be joining Oveja Negra brands beginning in June of this year. Oveja Negra brands is made up of Black Label Trading Company, Blackwork Studio, and Emilio Cigars. Apostate will be the fourth brand under Oveja Negra brands distributed by the group. Oveja Negra brands offers a unified sales and marketing team and centralized distribution through LJ Zuka and a tobacco distributor since 1947. We are thrilled and honored to be joined by Oveja Negra brands, which we have long admired. We are excited for the things to come and look forward to adding our blends to this amazing table. There's a little bit more that goes on about them signing and joining up with Oveja Negra. Go check that out at Cigar Public. I don't want to read all of it because I want to drive you guys there to read it. So congratulations to Apostate Cigars and congratulations to Oveja Negra. Sounds like two companies that do great work who are combining and joining forces. So that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So story number 2 goes to one that we've covered quite a few times on here, Plasencia. Plasencia goes high altitude in their latest release. Plasencia Cigars, a world-leading premium tobacco grower established in 1865, proudly announces the debut of the Alma del, I cannot pronounce the word, Ciclo.
Oh, come on.
Ciclo. Yeah, the first ever high elevation cigar at the 2025 PCA in New Orleans. This cigar has the meaning of soul from the sky, captures the essence of tobacco grown at Finca San Julian in Condega, situated at greater than 3,500 feet above sea level. This cigar is a tale of family, love, passion, and destiny. Let's see if it, there it goes. This cigar is going to come out in a Robusto, a 4 7/8 by 52, going for roughly around $25 a cigar, a box for $250, going to be sold in boxes of 10. The Toro is a 6 1/8 by 54. Roughly, cigar is going to be $27.50 in a box of 10 for $275. And the 6 by 60 is going to come out to $29.50 a cigar. A box of 10 is going to run you $295. So again, there's a lot more on here. It says this cigar opens with a rich, creamy sweetness of marzipan and honey, accented by subtle hints of nougat. As the cigar evolves, earthy undertones weaves through, accompanied by delicate traces of orange zest. The heart of the smoke unveils warm cedar and more nougat, while the finishes delivers a harmonious crescendo with a refined touch of ginger spice that lingers gently, best paired with a fine luxury champagne. So this is going to be on that higher end cigar. So I know Mick loves to get those and review those on the show. So we'll put that in Mick's hand to go ahead and try to see if he can get that one, and we can review that $30 6 by 60 cigar.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say on that. It has the tasting notes sound amazing, but man, that's a pretty high. Apparently, growing tobacco at a high altitude is fucking expensive.
Yeah. So, don't know if that's going to be one that's going to be on my list of things to try. I mean, it could be one of those meanwhile in Murfreesboro moments.
I
And
was just going to say that.
Yeah, we may end up coming back with one.
20 beers deep, we'll buy a handful.
yeah, no joke. Last story comes from JC Newman. We covered them a lot as well. JC Newman Cigar introduces the Angel Cuesta Shade. With PCA 2025 in New Orleans drawing to a close, the cigar world takes the latest release from around the industry. For America's oldest family-owned cigar company, the latest release comes in the form of a Connecticut shade version of the fan favorite, the Angel Cuesta. First rolled a century ago, this historic cigar brand is named for Angel La Madrid Cuesta, one of the founders of the storied Cuesta Rey cigar brand. Angel Cuesta was the official cigar of King Alfonso, who ruled Spain from 1886 to 1931. They are going to be handmade in the American Room at the JC Newman iconic El Relo Cigar Factory in the Cigar City in Tampa, Florida. They feature beautiful, silky smooth Nicaraguan shade wrapper with a blend-aged binder and filler tobacco from 3 continents with a pigtail cap. They are rolled in 3 sizes and packaged in cabinets of 20 cigars. You have the 5.5 by 56 with a retail price of $20, the 6.25 by 52 with a $21 retail, and then the 7.25 by 57 with a $23 retail. So you can check out the rest of the information on Cigar Public. Once again, we want to thank Cigar Public for doing that. So now you have 2 cigars that's well over $20 that you can choose to go for. If you want a good $20-some dollar Connecticut shade cigar,
I will pass on that one.
you'll pass. Are you sure?
Yeah, $20 for a Connecticut to have with my coffee. I mean, I don't know. It might be awesome, but I think I'm out. The first one, I could probably be persuaded.
All right, so really quickly, Cigars with Angel says, need to ask Aldi about his meat gazing at PCA. I heard he slapped a lot of tails over at PCA. There were a lot of butt smacking tails we need to ask him about. Maddie says, great show. Presidente, El Presidente himself says he loves Rebellion. Hallam Big Al says, Hayes Gray, War Dogs, great cigars. Can't wait to try the Beast from Rebellion. I will say this. I'll let you know in a week how it tastes. Just saying.
Okay. Hey, you guys can also wear your hats, Jordan. Your matching hats from Rebellion while you're smoking the Beast.
Pedro tells Big Al, thanks. They appreciate him. Let's see. The Bear Tamer from Cavalier. Okay. He says Apostate is great too. Brandon from Apostate is a cool dude. I would love to meet him. I've seen some interviews with him. He is one that I definitely want to get on. So if you guys got connections, you know what to do. Send them our way. Okay. Limited boxes too. He says, I'll let you know Monday. Just got the hat today. Okie dokie. Cool. Awesome show. Very entertaining and enlightening from Dave. Once again, speaking of hats, we just posted the final Hat Palooza. No hard R, Charles. On what?
San Andreas? I don't know. Rebellion?
I don't know.
So it's Ebellion. I got it.
Rebellion. So really quickly, anybody who we just posted the last of round 1 for the Hat Palooza. Oh, I said a prostate. Yeah, apostate. Yeah, gotcha. Cool beans. I was channeling my inner Mick.
Thank you.
But if anybody out here, if you're a brand owner or if you're a brand owner or a whiskey owner or a accessory owner, and you have a good hat game and you want to participate in round 2 of the Hat Palooza, get up with me, let me know. We'll talk about it and we will get that out there. So we have one final segment, and we kind of need to get our buddy out here since he sponsored it. So we have Meanwhile in Memphis coming up. You ready for some Meanwhile in Memphis?
Let's do it.
Meanwhile in Memphis, it's happening again. Meanwhile in Memphis, the sky turns wild. Stray gators and pools running free and wild. Some guys wearing mud boots with a suit on trial. Meanwhile in Memphis, let's stay here a while.
Go ahead, Mick. Who we got?
Meanwhile in Memphis is brought to you by Katie Cigar Company. You can visit them on Instagram at Katie Cigars or www.katiecigarco.com.
And a great, huge thanks to Katie Cigar Company.
Great,
you guys sponsored us once, and then said you wanted to do it again, and we reached out to you and said, "Hey, you still good with sponsoring Meanwhile in Memphis this week?" And then it came back to, "Hey, let's do more." And I said, "Okay, what's your idea?" He said, "Let's do every other week until we're on the podcast." And I said, "Hey, let's do it." So every other week until they're on, we will have a cigar prize pack from Katie Cigars. So huge thanks to Katie Cigars. Once again, check them out on IG at Katie Cigars or online at katiecigarco.com.
Hells yeah. So, Meanwhile in Memphis. So I got 2 quick Memphis stories. And then I ventured outside of Memphis for the third one because it was another one of those weeks where I didn't feel right laughing about some of the shit that happened in Memphis. So the first one, Memphis, specifically Shelby County, is now ranked 2nd in the nation for, any guesses? You guess murder most likely.
I was thinking carjacking.
Nope, but they're in the top in all of those, but for deadly hit and run crashes. So according to the article and the video I watched, primarily 80% of these are due to people being distracted by their phones, and they hit bikers or pedestrians walking, and they just keep going, and only 20% of the people are ever caught or found.
Yeah, this absolutely terrifies me. As somebody who rides a motorcycle, I did not ride much last year just because of the year before, seeing all the shit drivers out there who were completely distracted. As a motorcycle rider, that terrifies the hell out of me.
Absolutely. Yeah. The numbers were astronomical, but to be 2nd in the nation, only behind Chicago, which is ironically the same city that they're behind for murders. Memphis is not a great place to be a pedestrian or a bystander, for that matter.
Meanwhile in Memphis, it's
absolutely. So this is a pretty good one. A man was rushed to the hospital with a bullet in his head, and later arrested, for having active warrants. Police say.
Dang it, Bobby! Dang it, Bobby!
Emotional damage.
The Memphis Police Department are investigating an overnight...
Emotional damage!
Had to put it in there for Debbie. The Memphis Police Department is investigating an overnight shooting that left one victim injured on April 15th. So literally, what, 1 day ago? 2 days ago? 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
On April 15th, officers responded to an aggravated assault call regarding a shooting victim. Upon arrival, officers learned that it was a male victim grazed by a bullet in the back of the head, leaving the bullet still inside his head. The victim was dropped off to the emergency room by his brother for treatment. The victim informed police that he was waiting outside for a ride at the Mill Creek Apartments when he heard multiple rifle rounds go off. Officers say the victim was struck by one bullet. He then called his brother, who later picked him up and drove him to the Methodist Union Hospital for treatment. After being treated for his injuries, the victim was found to have active warrants for his arrest. The active warrants were for possession of a prohibited weapon weapon, and theft of a firearm. Only in Memphis can you get a bullet in your head and then get arrested in the same night.
That's what she said.
So this one. So I found this really cool site. It's on the Memphis.
It's happening again.
So the Memphis Flyer. It is like a real news site, but they have one
not.
that's called Weird News of the Week, and every week they do weird news stories. Which I was like, all right, so Memphis,
that's like calling us a real news site.
That's so. Here's the top news story for last week, off of the Memphis Flyer. Only farts, industrious beavers, and a massive sturgeon. So there's like multiple stories here, but I'm doing the only farts one.
Spit on that thing.
It's a dirty job. Nathan Wild is a star at Magic Men's Strip Club for a male strip club in Australia. Or at least he was, until he discovered a more lucrative line of work. Metro News reported that Wild makes about 20,000 pounds a year by posting videos of himself passing gas on TikTok. The one-time carpenter joined OnlyFans in 2017 and soon made enough with his X-rated videos that he quit his daytime job. About 2 years later, he got a request for a fart video, which he initially refused. He was blown away by the request. He was blown away by the request.
What the fuck?
Devin's loving this over here, and he demanded that he people have been demanding them ever. He's messing me up, man. Demanded that he make them ever since. Some want to see my facial expressions while I'm farting. Others just want to see me from far away. Either way, he makes 20,000 pounds a year by posting farting videos.
This guy was good.
Meanwhile,
this guy was good.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage. Meanwhile in Memphis, it's happening again. Meanwhile in Memphis, the sky turns wild. Stray gators and poodles running free and wild. Some guys wearing mud boots with a suit on trial. Meanwhile in Memphis, let's stay here a while. Meanwhile in Memphis.
That's crazy.
Do you think that Katie Cigars right now is saying, why in the hell did we sponsor this?
No, I actually think, knowing his personality, he absolutely loves the reason that he sponsored this one.
Oh, crazy.
Wild.
OnlyFans in Memphis.
That was too much.
Cigars with Angel says that he's got a good idea for the boost ratings.
I'm good. I am about that age yet.
So, a prostate exam with apostate cigars.
Same show.
What could go wrong?
Dang it, Bobby.
Good stuff, man.
Damn.
What a way to end.
Oh, so I will say that's OnlyFans in Memphis, Walmart in Newport. No joke. That's definitely the Walmart where I live.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so really quickly, let's thank a few people. Huge thanks to Cigar Vault Oakdale for putting up with us. I know you're asking yourselves why you do this. Crap, they're talking about all this, and our name is plastered all above it. Yeah, yeah, it is. Huge thanks to Beard Apothecary, Cigar Army, and then Cigar Public. You guys are amazing. We absolutely appreciate it. We had some great people in the chat tonight. Loved the new faces. We had quite a few new faces on tonight. And you know, hopefully make some new friends on here who will come and watch us more often. So make sure you guys are posting in the comments. Make sure you guys are sharing this. Make sure you're liking this. We do need a lot of help getting more people onto our Facebook account. That way we can start streaming from there. If you haven't started following us on Rumble, go do that one. Again, make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube. Do all the things. Don't think that one is enough. You're never good at being an underachiever. Be an overachiever. Do it all. Do it all.
All of it.
Huge thanks to our guest on here, Al Gomez from Reformed Cigars. Loved having you on here as a different kind of podcast tonight. Love the message that he was spreading and the purpose behind what he's doing. So absolutely love that.
Yeah, he's driven, and that's what we love to see, man. Everybody has a little bit of a different way they go about their business, but man, we love what they're all doing, and Al was no exception, man. He was awesome.
Congratulations on the cigar. The cigar tonight got a 90 from Mick. Construction issues got an 83 from me, but because Mick had such a good experience with that one, it did bump it up to an 87. So congratulations to Reformed Cigars for getting a great score from us. Again, I absolutely love the flavors on that one. So I just had construction issues. So
yeah, it happens.
All right, guys. Next week, April 24th, will be episode 28. Holy crap, we're getting close to 30.
Amazing. We're getting there, man. 1 week at a time.
There's a good chance we are going to hit 50 at the end of the year. And we've already made a decision that every 50, we are going to have a friends and family herf where we invite some of the brand owners that we've had from the past on here, as well as some of you guys who are listening on here. Some of our TriStar family on here. So we plan on doing that every 50. And if my math is mathing the right way, the way we've got things scheduled out, we are probably going to hit 50 in either November or December.
Sounds like a great way to end the year, man.
We weren't supposed to hit 50 until mid of next year.
We're overachievers.
That's right. Don't be an underachiever. Be an overachiever. Like and do the all. Do all of it. Like, subscribe, share. Guys, I cannot try to convince you to do all of it. Just do all of it. As Josefa says, do all the YouTube stuff. Do all the Rumble stuff, the Facebook stuff, the Instagram stuff. Help get us back to almost 5,000 followers on Instagram before they decide that we're a piece of crap and they're going to kick us out again. So help us do that. But April 24th, we do have episode 28 coming up. It is with Neil Garcia of Jake Wyatt Cigars. We're going to be smoking the Fourth Dimension. I've smoked that cigar already a couple of times. I'm already biased. That's a damn good cigar. If you haven't had it, go grab it. Come smoke it with us. Guys, we do have, I know Devin bought one of our cigar books. I do know we had a couple other people buy some of our cigar books. If you're interested, hit me up. They're $25. That's exactly what it cost me. By the time I do the paper, the binding, the hard covers and everything, it costs, and shipping, it cost me $25. It's like $24.60 to get that thing produced and mailed out. I'm not making anything. I'm just doing it so you guys can have fun with us. So if you're interested, hit us up on that one. Stay tuned next week for some information about that next round of Hatpalooza. We would love to have some brands join us on that one. Mick, you got any final thoughts? Shoot them out. Let's end this the way that only Mick can.
Oh man, a lot of pressure. I think you hit pretty much everything. I've met Neil a few times. Well, once in person. So looking forward to talking to Neil again next week. Great dude. And as always, take time this week and smoke a cigar with someone you love. That's all I got, man. Awesome episode, brother.
Great job tonight. It was always a pleasure having you on here with me, getting to hang out. We don't get to hang out as much as I would like to, but it's always fun that, most Thursdays we get to hang out, have a good conversation, talk to some amazing people, smoke some good cigars. And as Lou would say, tell a few tall tales. So Absolutely. Big shout out to Lou. We haven't seen you in a while. I haven't got to talk to you. So got to get you on here and talk to you soon. So everybody have a great night. We will catch you guys next week. Stay tuned to the Instagrams. Peace out, brother.
Mick and Charles in the lounge, cigar steady burning. Whiskey in the crystal glass, the ice cubes churning. Talking prime cuts of life, every convo got that flair. Guests spilling stories, smoke spirals in the air. It's the real smoke, where the vibe don't choke. Cigars roll deep, whiskey fire invoke. Laughter in the rafters, every tale bespoke. Welcome to the session where the real one spoke. Guests pull up with tales, legends written ash, talking roots, passion in the craft that they mash. A puff and a pour, the ambiance is lush. Mick cracks a joke, Charles drops the hush. Leather chairs creak, stories take flight. Conversations glowing like cherry tips at night. Recollections tumble like whiskey on rocks. This the real smoke where time always unlocks. Draped in Havana dreams and Kentucky mist. Cohibas and single malts in every twist. Past and present blend in the banner glow. Each guest adds a flame, sets the tone just so. It's the real smoke, where the vibe don't choke. Cigars roll deep, whiskey fire invoke. Laughter in the rafters, every tale bespoke. Welcome to the session where the real one spoke.